Hi everyone, it's Gail here. I am dropping into your feed with the Ignite show. I seem to have a bit of an orange glow going on here. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's not quite dark, but it's definitely not completely light either. So I am in the spotlight, but I just for some reason, it must be my top or something. I just have this orangeness going on. So not sure what that's all about. But anyway, hope that's not too distracting. So I wonder, will anybody drop in and watch me live today? We shall see what happens. I didn't schedule this, so nobody knew I was going to be popping up unless they were expecting me to be in here, because I usually do the Ignite show on Thursdays at around about 5 o'clock. So here I am. So we'll see. Maybe someone will come and join me. But if you are watching this live, there's no point in saying that because nobody's watching me live right now. So let's not say that. If you are watching this on replay, hashtag replay, let me know that you watched, let me know that you tuned in, let me know what you think, let me know if you have any questions. That would be amazing. And just drop me a little comment to let me know if this resonates and if it makes sense. And that's if you're watching on social media. If you are watching this in my vault, then you can feel free to drop me a little message and let me know what you think. So you can always get in touch if you're in the vault. You can, you can always just message me, just drop me a note, email me, whatever you like, but just let me know what you think. So today I am talking about a topic that came up in my free group this past week, because we were talking about leading with confidence. So if we're getting into the sorts of things that get in our way from leading with confidence. And we also started talking about, well, what are the things that get in our way, but what are the top tips, or what are the things that help us lead with confidence? And part of what came up in that discussion was the whole notion of what happens when you take steps forward, you take action and you put yourself out there, but it doesn't work out the way that you were expecting, or things don't go according to plan, or you mess up, or because you've never done this before, you make a mess of it, you fail, or you feel like you failed, you feel like a failure. What then? What do you do? And this is really topical because I'm one that's always advocating for step out of your comfort zone, go and take action, go and try new things, because the only way that you're going to become confident at something is if you take action. You need to face your fear. You just need to get into it and do it, because confidence is a lagging emotion, and you only become confident after you've done something, not before. So if you do happen to do that, but then it all goes belly up and all goes horribly wrong, well then what do you do? Because you're then left now I'm like, knock yourself out, well done, you took action, but you're then in this horrible place, and what do you do then? So I thought it would make sense for me to cover that in the Ignite show. I talked a little bit about this in my free group yesterday as well. So getting back up after a fall, how do you do that? So I have 3 things for you today. See, someone has just joined me live, a couple of people. So if you're on live just now, please drop me a little comment. Let me know that you're watching. Just let me know who you are, where you are, what you're up to. I think I've scared them off, dropped off again there. Let me know who you are, where you are, what you're up to, and do you have any snow? Because it's snowing here at the moment. So yeah, let me know what's going on for you. So I have 3 things for you. So the first thing is, number 1 is appreciation. So what do I mean by that? So I don't mean appreciation in the sense of sharing appreciation with other people and talking about what you appreciate that somebody else is doing. I'm talking about getting into and understanding what you personally can appreciate about the situation that you are in. Because in any situation, there is always something to appreciate. And in particular, it says there's 5 people watching me now. So yeah, if you are on watching me live, please do say hi in the comments. Drop me a little comment so that I know that you're here. Especially because there are a few of you. I'd love to know who's actually watching live so I can say hello. So just give me a little wave, drop me a comment, say hello, and I'll say hello back and I'll give you a little mention. If you do a comment, I might even share your comment. How about that? So yeah, so there's always something to appreciate, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what's going on around you. If we look for something to appreciate, we usually find it. It's like looking for opportunity. If you look for something, you find it. If you're expecting not to find something, you usually won't. But if you're expecting to find something, you usually do. And in any situation, there's always something to be grateful for. There's always something to appreciate. So when you're in that situation where you might have been knocked back for a job, you might have delivered a presentation that went belly up, you might have had a horrible conversation that didn't go the way you expected, you might have pitched up and said the wrong thing, you might have been brave enough to speak up and be visible and then wish you hadn't, okay? How many of us have been there before? I know I have. So, but what can you appreciate? And that's the thing, it's like, okay, this is not a disaster, it is not the end of the world. And if I was to just think about for 1 second, what have I learned or what can I appreciate in this particular situation? What would my response be? Because when we look for what we appreciate, it puts us into a much more positive frame of mind. It allows us to start to think about, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was, and we can move on and we can learn from it. So really thinking about what you can appreciate or what you can learn is a big thing. So if something's gone wrong, it's like, okay, well, I know not to do it like that anymore. I didn't know that before, but I know that now. What do you know now that you didn't know before taking the action? What do you know now that you could apply in another situation? What have you gained by taking the action? Because we usually always gain something, even when we mess up. Okay, and the other thing that I always say is when we mess up, it doesn't make us a failure. So the acronym that I like to use for failure or failing is FAIL. And how I like to think about it is for all I've learned. Because every time we mess up, when we make mistakes, it's usually when we also have our biggest moments of learning. Okay, usually. Because they stick in our mind and we mull them over and we think about them and we analyze them and we dissect them. Well, you do if you're me. We just, and we tend to brush over and step over our successes and the things that we've done well at. We don't tend to dwell on that as much. But when we get something wrong, boy, do we go over it. We go over it and over it and over it and underline it and underline it and underline it. So we spend so much time thinking about it, we may as well put that thought to good use. So rather than dissecting it and just making yourself feel worse, dissect it with an outcome in mind. And the outcome is, what can I learn from this situation? How can I make it better next time? What am I appreciating right now? So that's appreciation, that's the first thing. The second thing is perspective, and it's kind of tied to appreciation, but it's a little bit different because perspective is all about how am I looking at what's happened and is there a different way to look at it? Because usually when we mess up and we get things wrong and we've failed at something or our perception is that we failed at something, we feel pretty bad. Everything looks bleak. Everything is doom and gloom. The only way is down. And, it can really be difficult for us to see any kind of opportunity, any kind of light, any way to rise back up, and depending on, the bigger the fall, the harder it is to get back up, right? And the harder it is to find that way back up. So, but that's a perspective, okay? That is a perspective, and we can change our perspective and we can choose a different perspective to be in because it's a choice. And the thing to realize is it is a conscious choice. So it's a choice that we are in control of. So we can decide to see something as a disaster, or we can choose to see it differently. We can choose to see it similar to appreciation. We can choose to see it as an opportunity. If I was to look on this situation as an opportunity, what would I see? What would I notice? What would be different? How would I be different? What would I notice about what's going on in me? What would my next step be? Because when we see something from a positive perspective and our mindset is different, the action that we take is going to come from a more positive place, and therefore we will drive to a different outcome. So perspective and how we see things and how we choose to see things, because sometimes we have a default perspective. how many people have come across, how many of you have come across someone who, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, everything's just doom and gloom, negative, disaster. You get that. And that can be hard to change, but the point being that it is within your power and within your control, within your gift, to change your perspective if you want to, but it is a choice. And you're the one that has to make that choice. Nobody can make you do it. You have to do it yourself. But just know and trust that there is always more than one perspective. There's always another way to look at something. And even if you just said to yourself, what's another way that I could see this? Now, granted, right, it takes a really positive mindset in the moment of failure to be able to do that. But know and trust that it is possible. And sometimes we need to be with the failure a little bit. So sometimes we need to wallow. Okay, we often need to just wallow a little bit and experience the failure and feel sorry for ourselves for a little while. But eventually we start to kind of come out of that, and that's the time when you might then be in a slightly different mindset that would allow you to look for opportunity, allow you to look for possibility by shifting your perspective. So your perspective is, how are you seeing things? How do you see the world and yourself in it? And if you could choose a different perspective, what would you choose, and what would that give you? So that's perspective. The third thing, my last and final thing for you, is evidence. So I always talk about confidence as a lagging emotion. You feel confident and you get confident by taking action, and you don't get confidence before you've taken the action. It's, you take the action and then you get confident. It's a lagging emotion. However, when we're in a place where we have messed up and we're feeling really bad and we're feeling sorry for ourselves, sometimes the best thing you can do is call on the evidence you already have. This is something that I do quite a lot when I mess up. When I get things wrong and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm rubbish. How could I have been so stupid? Oh, I feel embarrassed. Oh, the shame, the guilt, all of the things that you feel when you get things wrong. I find it really, really helpful to circle back and look at what is the positive feedback that I've had about who I am and what I do. Circle back on that and read that, because it just, again, it helps you shift, and it helps you to find a different mindset. So what evidence do you already have of your strengths, your skills, the contribution that you make, the value that you add? And you might want to go and remind yourself of that. But we all have evidence. We all have pieces of evidence that underline the value that we bring. And if we don't have it, we can go and ask for it. So we can go and speak to people. We can ask, how do I show up when I'm doing well? It's just by asking the right questions. So instead of asking for feedback, or asking someone to give you feedback, ask them instead to tell you, what do you do well when you're doing, or what do you do when you're doing your best work? What impact do you have when you are showing up and contributing in your best way? What are the strengths that you bring to the table? What's unique and different about you? What is your USP, your unique selling point? Because sometimes it's difficult for us to recognize that in ourselves. It's easier to recognize it in other people and to share that with other people, but people often don't volunteer it. You sometimes have to ask for it. So get familiar and get comfortable with asking for the right sort of feedback. And that will help you not just feel more confident in general, but will help you bounce back and will give you something to draw on in terms of evidence when you need it. So that's it. Those are my 3 things. What can you appreciate? How can you look at the situation differently? What evidence do you already have? All right, those are my 3 things. So hope they're helpful. Now, I have some little updates for you today, some things to share with you. So first of all, I have done a last minute thing, which is not like me. Last minute Annie should be, last minute off the cuff Annie should be my nickname, I think, because I tend to do this, like, oh, let's just do this. And let's just do that now. I don't want to do it next month. Let's just do it right now, like this second. So I had this idea this week that I was going to do a little offer. It's not a little offer, actually. It's a mega bonus offer for anyone who is thinking about working with me one-to-one. So I've just created, it's brand new. I don't even have a landing page at this point. Brand new program called the Unstoppable Leader. Okay. So anyone who is thinking about working with me one-to-one, or you might not have even thought about working with me one-to-one, just plant that little seed. If you are interested in working with me one-to-one, my new Unstoppable Leader program is something that you should consider. It is a new one-to-one coaching program with me. So it's a 3-month program. You get to work with me intensively, intimately, closely. I'll be there by your side, creating a safe and courageous space for you to become the vision of the leader that you know you are meant to be. I'm going to be supporting you, helping you, encouraging you, pushing you, challenging you with tough love. I'm never nasty, but I do push people because that's what gets them results, right? And I am all about getting you to your outcome and giving you or helping you to get the results that you want. So when you think about, what's the leader that you want to be? How do you want to show up? How do you want to lead? What do you want to be known for? When you're clear on that and you want to start figuring out the next steps to making that happen, then you want me by your side to help you do that. So that is what I'm going to be doing in my Unstoppable Leader program. It is a one-to-one exclusive opportunity to work with me for a 3-month period. It is unlimited. So you only get a set number of sessions. You only get this, you only get that. We work together to figure out what you need for you to be successful. We talk regularly, we meet regularly, we do what we need to do, we'll chat. There's ongoing accountability in between sessions. You have got full unlimited access to me for 3 months if you want it. So that program comes in at $4,995. However, if you join that program by tomorrow, so this is only available until tomorrow, Friday, the 12th of February, then you will also get free access to my Ignite Mastermind. So my Ignite Mastermind is going to be opening up again next month. So the week of the 22nd of March, I'm going to be opening the doors for 1 week only. And if you join the Unstoppable Leader program this week, so by tomorrow, by Friday, you will get free access to that for 12 months. Now that is worth £1,200. So this is not to be, I'm not joking around with this, right? I'm serious. This is a mega offer. It's worth £1,200. So 1,997 is the actual price. So just under £1,200. That is so Ignite is my group program. It's my flagship program. It's where you get to come in and work with me every week with all of my other clients, where we have regular coaching calls. We have a private Facebook group. You get something to work on every week. You get to ask me questions every week. And we do a check-in every week, and you get 3 calls with me a month. One of them is my Leading with Confidence call, where I lead you through a topic every month. So you're going to get free access to that for 12 months, plus the one-to-one coaching, the one-to-one unlimited coaching program in the Unstoppable Leader program with me. All of that for $4,995 if you join by tomorrow. And what else was I going to say on that? Oh yeah, if you join by tomorrow. And most people that work with me are sponsored and funded by their organization. But if you are self-funding, I appreciate that's a bit of an ask up front. So if you're self-funding, there is, I'm losing my voice. There is also a payment plan. So I will give you a 3-month payment plan so you can spread the payments and make that a little bit easier to stretch to. So what you need to do to take advantage of that, all you need to do is message me, get in touch, let me know that you're interested, let me know if you'd like to have a chat about it, and we will get that set up. But you need to be quick because I'm only offering that bonus until tomorrow. So if it's of interest, let me know, message me, and we can have a little chat about it, and we'll get you all set up and we can get started straight away. Really, we can get started as soon as you like. So let me know. So that is the Unstoppable Leader program. Get in touch if that's of interest to you. couple of other quick things, and this is all detailed in this post as well, and it will be detailed in the vault in case anybody is watching this in my vault. A special guest next week, Jim Phillips, my colleague from my Adobe days. He is now Vice President at Zant. So he looks after customer success and something else, but customer success for definite. And he and I are going to be having a fireside chat in my free group, my Women in Tech Leading with Impact group, on Wednesday next week at 6 p.m. UK time. So feel free to come along for that. You do need to request access to the group, but it's free to join. So we only usually let people in on a Monday, so make sure you've requested access in advance of that if you want to come and listen to that. So it's 6 p.m. UK time on Wednesday, but there will be a replay in the group. So if you can't make it live, you can watch it back. But it's better to join live if you can, so that you can ask Jim any questions. And lastly, since I'm talking about self-doubt and getting back up after a fall and feeling miserable and feeling like you failed, that is classic territory for our saboteur to have a field day. So you might also want to check out my freebie. So my freebie is 10 ways to silence your inner critic. There is a link for that in this post. It is free. It's going to take you through 10 different things that you can do to loosen the grip and break free of that niggly, nasty voice of doom that whispers in your ear, tells you that you're not enough. It's where all of your imposter syndrome comes from. And that whole kind of, I told you that was a bad idea, you should never have done that, why would you do that, what if we fail, I'm not enough, all of that negative dialogue comes from your inner critic. My little freebie takes you through 10 different ways that you can overcome that. So check out the link for that as well, if that is of interest. So I'm going to leave it there for now because I have to go and start my client call now. Hope that was useful. If you enjoyed it, drop me a little comment, let me know. And if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay so that I know that you tuned in. And I will speak to you later. So take care. Bye.